Hi, dreamers. Gosh, what can I say about February? I've continued to bring home the money as I've spent a lot of time working on my option strategies, and it shows. Like I mentioned last time, I'm fully living off of my investment income at the moment, so I am really trying to optimize and do research every single day. And in this video at the end, I'll share some stock rotations I've done in the last 60 days to help optimize not only my options, but also my dividends. So let's get to it. Today I'll review the end of the month totals where I show you my dividend and options income. This month I made over $18,000. Let's take a look at the detail. So you can see in February I made over $7,139. And that compares to November of 2023 with the same basket of stocks at just over $6,000. And so you can see here in February that the vast majority came in week 2 with over $4,000. Here's how that played out. The first amount I got was from PTY at $481, and this is just a steady payer bond fund that pays out every single month. Then I got $100 from BMY, and that rogue Devo payment for $96. Followed by $65 from EBF. And as we roll into week 2, you can see two monster payments, one from BTI at over $2,800. And if you've seen my dedicated video on the tobacco industry, you know how I feel about Mo and BTI and the differences between domestic and international. And my second monster payment on the very same day was from JEPQ at $1,300. Now, JEPQ is a monthly payer, and although it's derivative and variable, it's been a fantastic investment for me, and one that I've got over $200,000 in. And of course I did a dedicated video on JEPQ and JEPI a few months ago. Now as we roll into week 3, you can see $130 coming in from Texas Instrument, followed by about $215 from CFG. I got just under $200 from AbbVie, just over $200 from Realty Income. I got $66 from Stag, and then a few little ones from Procter & Gamble, Abbott Labs, APLE, and a couple dollars from Apple. In week 4, I got $169 from Sunoco, $70 from a growing position in Maine, $325 from SPYI, $189 from BMO, $278 from two more positions of Devo, $145 from BST, $27 from Gain, and $159 from JHG. And so that's the detail behind the $7,000 of dividend income that just came in automatically. Now let's take a look at the options income for this month. And here you can see another monster month in February of over $10,800. And that's added to my over $11,000 that I made in option income in January. And so what in the world am I doing in options that's making such a huge difference in 2024? Well, if you listened to my summary video of options, you heard some of my major learnings. And there were 3 things I was gonna try this year. One was to focus on dailies with IWM, QQQ, and SPY. And so that's something I've been playing with every single day or every other day, depending on what I see in the market, to optimize my cash. And the other thing I've been playing with is taking a hard look at their earnings reports for the week and seeing if there's any strategic bets that I want to make. And so I made some strategic bets on Celsius, Disney, Google, and McKesson. And in fact, I made a dedicated video on my Disney option strategy. So if I were you, I'd take a look at that as a great example of how I'm playing earnings. And the last thing that I've been doing with options is just building up some of my positions to get to that critical minimum 100 shares in order to be able to do covered call options on tickers like Pepsi, Qualcomm, MetLife, Cisco, and Texas Instruments. And so these 3 things have enabled me to really start to optimize my income, and the results speak for themselves. And so we get to this favorite part of these videos, the cumulative passive income chart. And to quickly orient you, the blue is just dividends for 2022. The orange is just dividends for 2023. The dark green is just dividends for 2024. The yellow is all investment income, dividends plus options plus interest. And the green is all investment income, dividends plus options plus interest for 2024. And so you can see my total investment income for 2023 as of February was $20,693, and the total for dividends, options, plus interest for 2024 as of February was $40,488. So as you can see, my increased focus on options and my stock rotation strategies are working pretty well. And at this pace, I'm going to blow my $142,000 total cumulative passive income from last year out of the water. And you know, what's amazing to me is that all of this is from a relatively conservative dividend income portfolio and relatively conservative low delta option strategy with absolutely no new money, and me living off of this portfolio and deducting money from it. I'd love to know your thoughts on this in the comments. Alright, so at the beginning I told you I'd share some of my recent stock rotations and what I've done with some of the proceeds. And so it's probably no surprise to you based on my Ultra video that I've sold about half of my Mo and a little bit of my BTI just to reduce my enormous position in tobacco, which is something that I've had in the back of my mind over the last 2 years. I also reduced my BMY and GSK positions as I see better opportunities for both options plays and dividends. I also sold off my BDJ position and a little bit of my O. And the reason for that isn't because I'm less confident in O. It's really more about right-sizing my positions, spreading risk, and like I've said many times, trying to take advantage of more opportunities for options. And so what did I do with those proceeds? Well, I've purchased additional shares of Devo, JEPQ, PTY, and IYW, in addition to SPY and QQQ. Now, these probably aren't a surprise if you've seen my videos on my favorite ETFs, and also if you follow me on Twitter, as I talk about these very often. I also have put more into VNQ, which I also talked about at the end of my O video, as another way to play the REIT rebound. And in addition, I've been adding to some dividend growth stocks, like McKesson, Google, Microsoft, Maine, and CTAS. And so in my next portfolio review video, I'll show you how this redistribution looks. I wonder what recent rotations you've been doing as we think about a pretty significant shift in interest rates and sector decline and growth based on those shifts. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this dividend income update. And if you want a richer, real-time experience with me, you can always follow me on Instagram or X. And if you're doing your own research using Seeking Alpha, feel free to find the link below to subscribe if you want, no pressure. As always, I encourage you to do your own research, then implement and learn by putting it into practice. And as a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so keep in mind these videos are for entertainment and inspiration only. I'll see you on the flip side.